Joining us now from Cedar Falls, Iowa, Senator Charles Grassley, and with us here, Congressman Barney Frank. Congressman Frank, I want to start with you. You helped push this tax idea through to tax these bonuses on AIG. Do you have any sense you have any support from the White House on this?
I believe so, but I should say here, the committee that I chair does not have jurisdiction over taxes, and I've been busy with other aspects of it. I voted for the bill. I was not a major advocate. I will say that there are a number of routes we ought to take. I have actually been engaged with the executive branch, trying to push them to do what I think is the best way to deal with this, which is to assert our rights, the United States government, as the owner of that company. We own about 80% of the company. People are worried about taxation being used in this way. People are worried about interfering with contracts. I think one of the things we ought to be doing is suing as a shareholder, saying, look, these are people who were paid bonuses that they weren't entitled to. If you look at their actual performance, I think there was an element, frankly, with some, not all of them, of almost extortion, where they said, we know all what you need to know, and we'll quit if you don't bribe us. So I would like to do that. Also, it's important for us, and I've been trying to do this, frankly, since 2006, address the whole question of executive compensation and the perverse incentives you get from the way it's structured.
We'll talk about that in a second, because that's part of President Obama's idea that it will apparently be unveiled later this week, putting government controls on that. I want to talk to Senator Grassley. You go home every week. What is the sense you get from folks out in Iowa about what's going on with these bonuses to folks at AIG?
Outrage on the part of Iowans. They just don't understand how people that make $20 million a year can drive a corporation into the ground, go suck off the taxpayers for bailouts, and then give out $1 million of bonuses. We believe people ought to be compensated right, but there's a whole different ethic when you have the taxpayers bail you out. There ought to be respect for middle-class taxpayers. There ought to be respect for the fact that you made a mistake. We ought to hear some apology. We ought to hear remorse. We ought to hear contrition. I haven't heard any of that, not only with AIG, but any other corporation that's got bailed out. We've got small business being helped by banks here. We put billions of dollars into Wall Street, and they loan money, $8 billion to Dubai. You know, the people of the Midwest just don't understand how you can run a business that way and expect the taxpayers to keep you going.
Senator, is the best way to get this money back with a tax, or is there some better way?
Well, right now I have to do what I can do, and it looks to me like Congress' best leverage is taxes. It's like other things need to be done to make sure that people that are on the dole from the taxpayers can't do these sort of things in the first place. But in the meantime, tax, and that's what we're going to do. I hope Leader Reid will schedule it. I'm a little cynical about whether he wants to schedule it for the reason they put another bill up coming Monday that's not quite as significant as getting back $168 million of taxpayers'
which may
money
actually turn
into
out to
the
be
federal treasury.
More like $200 million if the Attorney General of Connecticut is correct. Listen to this, though. This is part of the blowback now from the financial community. Kenneth Lewis, who's the CEO of Bank of America, says the clampdown on bonuses will have the potential to damage the ability of the government to engineer the economic recovery. Folks in this world say the people inside who are getting these bonuses are the only ones who can untangle this mess. Do you believe that to be true, Congressman?
No, not at all. And I think you do want to distinguish between bonuses. Some of the people at AIG apparently, and they weren't all getting $1 million, at the working level, selling insurance, not the ones who caused the problem. Some of them apparently were getting bonuses in lieu of salary. They shouldn't be forced to have worked for nothing. On the other hand, you had some people who were not in the financial, in the insurance part, but in this razzle-dazzle financial part that caused the problems. I reject the argument that they're the only ones who know it, and I want to distinguish. A bonus that is paid if you do well, as long as you also forfeit money if you do badly. A legitimate two-way bonus, which is unknown in most of these areas, I wouldn't object to. But retention bonuses are, to a great extent, extortion. It is people saying, as you suggested in the question, Harry, I've got the combination to the safe, and if you don't bribe me, I'm going to leave and you'll never be able to open the safe. I think it is wrong, and let's point out, a lot of very talented people have lost their jobs in this financial crisis It's not that they wouldn't be able to hire good people to do this. So I really resent the extortionate element of this, and I think that's one of the things that we have to deal with, not just with AIG, but going forward to restrict that.